to today's United Kingdom Talk.
From the Mirrorball studio in Royal Berkshire, this is Chris Reardon.
A warm welcome along, boys and girls. I hope you're enjoying my coloured shirts. Those of you watching, I will already know this, of course, but I've started wearing my different coloured shirts that I've collected over the years. Today I'm wearing a... Well, I think it's a Ben shirt. Hang on, let me have a look at the label. Now, the only thing is I haven't... I haven't really ironed any of them. Oh, I can't have a look now. 1 minute. I don't want to get stripped off here. Just a second. Let me see if I can see the label. Is it... Oh no, it's an Yves Saint Laurent shirt today, dears. And oh yes, we've got all the labels here. We have got labels here. I mean, not too many of them. You know, I'm not one to spend money on clothes, but I have to say, I've had these Ben Sherman shirts and these Yves Saint Laurent. How'd you say? Yves Saint Laurent? Is that how you say it? Oh, I don't know, dear. There's no class where I'm involved, you know that. Yes, I've had these shirts for quite a number of years, and they don't fade. You see, you get what you pay for. They don't fade. Now, although, as I say, the shirts I've got, they weren't that expensive, but probably a little bit more expensive than what I'm used to paying for clothes. But today I'm wearing a maroon. Was it like a maroon colour? I like that word, don't you? Or is it burgundy? It's a very, very dark red colour, and that's what I've got on today. And I've started wearing these shirts so as to appear slightly better looking on the camera. I don't know if it's working or not. We've had... What have we wear? We've had the blue one. We've had the white one with short sleeves. Now, today we've got the red one. What was the other one I wore? Did I wear a grey one yet? But I've got a lovely... I don't know if I've still got it. I've got a lovely bright green one somewhere, and I'm trying to dig that out. And what I might do on my next night off is for an hour iron them, because I only wear them for the show. Yes! I don't wear shirts when I'm going out, although I might have to if I take out Wayne the butler to Fortnum & Mason's for afternoon tea. Do you remember we talked about that on the last show? Yes. Well, I still haven't managed to get hold of him, actually, since the last show. He's been very busy arranging his life. Oh, he's a very busy person, Wayne the butler. Oh, yes. Very, very busy. And if you were listening to the last show, you may already know that I intend to take him out to Fortnum & Mason's for afternoon tea for his birthday. That, as well as a little dinnerette type thing down in Brighton, where he's staying at the moment. So I'm looking forward to that. So there we are. What I might do on my next night off is... Where's my pen gone? There it is. Is sit in... or stay, and it won't take me long to iron. Or I could take them down to the dry cleaners, couldn't I? And get them cleaned and ironed. And then they'd just come back. I know what you're thinking now is that is a little bit of an extravagance, isn't it? Because occasionally, I'll be honest with you, I did used to take shirts to the dry cleaners until I realised how much it was costing. You know, it was just like something ridiculously high, like about £1 a shirt. Well, I mean, the whole shirt was only about 15. So 15 trips to the dry cleaners and you could have bought a whole new shirt. Why not just wear it? Especially now that we can't smoke in pubs here in the UK, or clubs, or bingo halls, or anywhere enclosed, fortunately. Now, I have, you know, you can wear your clothes for weeks on end and they don't smell. Unless, of course, you're a young lad, like my nephew, Gary, 22 years old, and you smell. And what is that? All boys between the age of 15 and 25 stink, don't they? That's why they have to put all that deodorant on. Are you one? Are you one of these lads who actually, you know, covers himself in deodorant because of the stench? I mean, the one thing that we never had, I don't know if you've got it now, boys, if you've got anyone sort of 18 to 25, or, oh, I don't know, oh, probably younger than that, 13 to 25, have any of you got smelly feet like my nephew? Oh, it's dreadful. Dreadful, dreadful, dreadful. When we were younger, there wasn't really anything to put on your feet except talcum powder. Have you got sprays now? Because I know what companies are like. As soon as I find a little gap in the market, they're there, aren't they? And if there isn't any non-smelling foot... I mean, presumably, You can't use deodorant on your feet. Would that be about right? Isn't that just for under your arms? Aren't the bottom of your feet more sensitive? Huh? Is there now a spray to stop your feet minging? Now, you can join in the show at any time you want to by emailing me. It's chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Anything that we're going to talk about at all here on the show today, or indeed anything else, perhaps you'd like to request a different colour shirt for me to wear. And then in, say, 3 or 4's time, because it's all prepared. It's all prepared, this programme. A lot of people think I just turn up, sit down in front of the microphone and the camera and start rabbiting away about nothing. Nothing could be further from the truth, dear. It's all worked out. Look, it's all written down here. Bits on here, bits on here, bits on here. The only thing is, the programme itself is not really scripted. It's just like lines of things to talk about that I don't usually get through anyway, because we never get past much further than the first subject. So there we are, OK? chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I've got some, just before I came up here, the washing's in the machine. That's going round. Everything's timed. I do like everything to be timed and efficient. The washings, I just put the bed stuff in the washing machine. That's going round with a towel and what have you. Do you wash your tail every day? Not the cat's tail, no, dear. The towel that you dry yourself with. Do you wash that every day? I mean, I can't lie to you. I have to say I wash my towel every week, once a week. That's enough. I mean, it's not like there's blood and guts all over the thing, is it? Probably just a little bit of, what's that stuff? Shaving foam there might be on there, or stuff like that. Huh? Once a week, that's all you need to wash your towel. I can't believe some of these people in the sports centre, where I just go up the road, that's Esportia. The Royal... this is what it's called, right? It's very posh, dear. Very posh. The Royal Berkshire Health and Rackets Club. How posh is that? Huh? Anyway, where I go up there, I mean, the amount of towels people get through is unbelievable. Unbelievable, dear. You see some people, they go straight to the towel rack, because it's all free towel, where we get all towels included, and... not deodorant, shower gel, all that business, all included in my once a year annual fee, or which actually must be due up for renewal soon. Come to think of it, is it March or is it May? I'm sure it's March. Oh God, they've been wanting another arm and a leg off me, dear. Well, it's not cheap, but I do use the facilities, so I get my money's worth. All the towels, and some people. I've seen them, they go, excuse me, they go straight over to the towel thing and take 4 or 5 towels. I mean, it's a bit of a waste, isn't it, really? You can get away with one towel. I mean, I don't mind. I honestly don't mind. If there's a couple of nice lads in there, sort of, you know, quite nice-looking lads in there, I don't mind sharing their towel. In fact, what I might do, next time I'm at the sports centre tomorrow afternoon, I'll probably wait, I'll hang around, I'll wait, and then when someone's just used a towel, if I quite like the look of them, I'll say, well, can I use your towel? Do you think that's a good idea, or you know, I mean... and when I say, what'd you say, mate? Would you say, mate? Oh, can I use your towel? I say, I'm looking after the environment and I don't want to wash things too much. Or should I wait until this good-looking person has finished with the towel, put it in the towel bin, left the dressing room, and then go into the towel bin and pick the right towel up? Oh my God, how will I know? If there's a lot of towels in there, how will I know it's the right one? Oh, I never thought of that. You might get the towel. You might pick up a towel from some right-minger, mightn't you? I mean, for God help anyone who picks up my old towel. Just an idea. So the washing's in there, and everything's nice. Everything's timed to perfection. By the way, remember that loaf of bread that I had on just while the other show... the last show, I had to pop downstairs and empty the bread machine, didn't I? Because there was a loaf of bread in that. Well, that was it was one of the best loaves of the year. Now, talking of bread machines and such like, I have been repairing things, boys and girls. Yes, you know me, not one to go and throw something away as soon as it's not working anymore. Now, we were supposed to talk to you about this on the last show, but we run out of time, as we usually do. I have repaired 2 things since we last spoke, right? First of all, oh, you're going to love this. What do you think? Have you got any idea? Well, you know one of the things. What do you mean you weren't watching the last show? I've told you, well, then you should have done. Don't miss a show out. I told you before. If you miss a show out, it's like ripping the chapter out of a book. You won't know where you are, dear. I got a Facebook, a very interesting Facebook message from, was it Matthew? I think it was Matthew this week. Let me just check. We're on Facebook as well, and MySpace and all these things. Just a minute. Facebook message. Let me just have a little quick look on my computer. And, I mean, maybe you'll be able to... Maybe someone else will be able to explain to me what they actually mean by this. Now, 1 second. There it is. This is from Matthew. Hello, Matthew. Who has just... He is a new... Is he a viewer or a listener? Oh, he's a viewer. A new viewer. And he says... And his message was on via Facebook, Jesus, you do not go on. What does he mean by that? I don't know what you mean by that, Matthew. Jesus, you do not go on. What a funny thing to say to Jesus, dear. Is he speaking to you on regular occasions now? And if he is, I hope, Matthew, that you gave something up for Lent. What did I give up for Lent? Well, I don't dare tell you. Well, actually, it's... do I tell you this or not? I don't know. For those that are in the know, other people won't know what this is. Some people will know, some people won't. It's a place... I gave up chariots for Lent. That's all I'm saying, okay? That's the end of it. And I am sticking... I did. I gave up chariots for Lent. And I'm sticking to that. I'm absolutely sticking to that. I haven't gone off it at all. Years gone by, I've given up things like chocolates and crisps and things like that. And, you know, it's easy. So I gave up something else this year. So there we are. Now, Matthew says, Jesus, you do not go on. I'm surprised you don't have your own show on the radio in London. Well, they don't want me, dear. Well, they probably don't know about me. We haven't got thousands and millions of people watching and listening to this, you know. It's just a handful of select people, and that's it. Matthew says, the woman's pants we were talking about, do you remember the woman's tracksuit bottoms that I was talking about a couple of shows ago? They're called leggings, of course. I forgot all about that. And he also accuses me of burping while the show was on. Well, we all have our bodily functions, Matthew. You know, this programme is about life in the raw, real life. We don't polish it up and put loads of makeup on and cut out the bits that aren't nice. You know, even when I sniff or sneeze, achoo! I mean, we leave it all in. This is life in the raw. It's not polished. You know, if you go into a fast food restaurant, you expect the same thing, the same portions, the same taste, the same everything. Like a lot of radio shows up and down the country, and indeed around the world now. It's the same boring old thing. Different people, all sounding the same. This is different. This is life in the raw, as well as the pretty flowers and, like me, for example, as well as the pretty flowers and the birds singing. We've got the dregs of society in here as well, including myself. I think I fit in both categories, really. Part of me is in the gutter. The other part is desperately trying to push out of the earth. Like a beautiful daffodil, of which there are many growing in the garden at the moment. It's looking rather nice, the garden. Daffodils, the snowdrops have now gone, the crocuses have now gone, only to be replaced by even more beautiful daffodils, Matthew. He says, and Matthew, I don't think he likes cats, because he also says here, kill the cat, though, throw it out of the top floor window, kill the cat. Why would I want to kill my cat? What a nasty person you are, dear. My poor cat. And besides, I've got two. What do you mean kill them both? What a horrible person. Kill the cat. I will do it for you if you want. Oh, I don't think we need to get involved with you, Matthew. I really don't, dear. Poor cat. I mean, I can handle criticism of the radio show because, I mean, it all goes in one ear and out the other. Now and again, and you do get negativity. I know you're having a laugh with me, Matthew, here, so that's okay. But sometimes you do get negativity on things that you do. And the way to deal with that, I've found, is in one ear and out the other. Don't take any notice of anyone. Just get on with what you do. Sometimes it comes in on emails. You might get an email saying, "Oh, this show's dreadful," or something like that, or perhaps on one of the forums. Now and again, there are forums that I go on now and again, and you might get some sort of nasty comment. For example, I also do music mixes. As a club DJ, I make music mixes. Now, you can find those if you ever want to download one of those and have a listen. It's all licensed by the MCPS and PRS Alliance license. If you ever want to have a listen to the DJ mixes, then go to chrisreardonshow.co.uk, and there you will find all the DJ mixes, all right? Once again, chrisreardonshow.co.uk. I've just got to bring something up on the screen. Sorry, before I forget this, 1 second, because there was something else we wanted to bring up later on. It's just dropped into my mind what I wanted to do later on. There we are. It's the forums. We've got to go into the forums later because Wayne Anonymous has put a little post on there we read later. Yeah, with negativity, if you enjoy what you're doing and someone criticises you, don't take any notice. In one ear and out the other. Constructive criticism is fine. You know, if there's anything else, in one eye and out the other. And I put these music mixes up sometimes, and then I announce them on a music forum, something like, "Hi, here is a new 1 hour music mix. Here is a track list," and I put the track list. Anyone who wants to download it from, and there I give the address, chrisreardonshow.co.uk. And then sometimes people answer the post, "What a load of rubbish, we hate this sort of music." Why bother? Why'd you bother doing that? If you don't want to listen, don't listen. It was like that woman, what was her name? The one who was always complaining about television programmes. Barbara... Oh, I think she's dead now. I can't remember what her name. We had some woman once. She was always moaning about perhaps violence or sex in TV programmes and all this business. Well, turn it off then, dear. Don't sit there moaning. Just turn it off. It's as simple as that. And it's like these people who have down or look at the list of the tracks to download from my DJ mixes. Why comment? If you don't like it, go away. No need to comment. So that's my advice to anyone. If you're into something that you do, and you do something, and you get nasty comments like that, the best way to deal with it is do not respond. Okay? Now, if you have a look at some of the forums on the internet, and there's forums about any subject you could possibly imagine, from model railways to NHS hospitals to gardening, whatever. Some of the darker sides of things, it's all on the internet. And you will find people on there who are, in a word, vile. Absolutely vile. They seem to be their only thing in life is to go on these forums and try and upset people. What they want is a reaction. That is what they want from you. If you've ever been on a forum or anything like that, and you've made some sort of little post, yeah, probably quite a nice post, like I don't know, put your daffodil bulbs in September, and then someone comes back and says, don't be so stupid, put your daffodils in August. I've never heard anything so stupid in all my life. What they are trying to do is get a reaction. They get off on getting a reaction from you. Now, I've often thought the same can be said for critics. People who go out and criticise shows, plays in London, musicals, films. Sometimes I wonder if the critics are doing the same. They make very strong points, hoping to get a reaction, and the best way to deal with these people is not to react at all. Face it with a wall of silence. And it doesn't matter how many times these sad little individuals put posts on forums. Don't get me wrong here, I haven't had much experience with all this. I don't really get it very often, but now and again you get something come through. The best way to deal with it is with a wall of silence. Ignore them completely. This will do two things actually. One will be, I wonder, the other person will then think, I wonder if they saw the post. And the other thing is, you can end up actually annoying them a lot more than they tried to annoy you by not answering and ignoring. So always best, a little bit of advice there, always best, if you ever put a forum post or join in any of the many groups, not just on the internet, everywhere, quite often you'll get someone come out with something nasty. Ignore it. Don't respond. They want a response. Don't give it to them. All right? So a little bit of advice there on forums. Now, what else we've got to talk... Oh, I've lost my bit of paper. There it is. Oh, yes, here we go. Right, my repair jobs that I've done this week. First of all, on this, a cheese grater, boys and girls. I know what you're thinking. Why doesn't he just go and buy a new one? Why buy new things when you can repair the old ones? Now, the cheese grater, this I bought from Asda. Okay? I bought it from Asda. It's how many sides is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a 6-sided cheese grater with various different little holes, depending on what sort of cheese grating that you want. It was 6. Does that mean it's an octagonal? Is that 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Is 6 octagonal? I don't know. Anyway, the idea is you plonk it down on your plate and then you rub your cheese. Can you hear it? Listen. It's a bit dirty, actually. I've just noticed that. I haven't cleaned that properly. It's either that or rust. I thought this would be stainless steel. Hang on a minute. That is... Well, it's marked, that has. Oh, I've just done my nail on it. Oh, that hurts. Is it all right? Anyway, what went wrong with this? There is a handle at the top. Okay? So you hold the thing down with that, and then you scrape your cheese up and down on the little holes, and you get lovely grated cheese. I do like grated cheese, don't you? Eh? I like to have grated cheese on beans on toast. Oh, now you're talking. I might have that later. Beans on toast, because I was going to have fish today. But unfortunately, I went shopping in Asda last night on the way home. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I can't believe it. I had also to go and get some bingo prizes last night for my bingo session on Monday nights. Get the advert in. Monday nights every week at the Golden Lion, 8 o'clock. The Golden Lion, Britannia Street, King's Cross, London. Oh, it's shining. It's shining, this thing. It's shining. Anyway, so I went down there. I filled up, got a load of prizes for the bingo and also some shopping. I got all the veg. I forgot to get the fish. And quite honestly, I don't know if I can be bothered today and to go up and get some more. So I might have cheese and beans on toast. But there we are. So this is it. So I scrape my cheese on here and you hold it down with a handle. Now, very quickly after I'd purchased this item, which was also from Asda, and I don't think it was very expensive, probably about 99 pence or something like that, something very cheap like that, you know, $1. Hang on a minute, I've got a bit of glue. So I got a bit of glue. The handle came off at this side, so you're kind of pulling it, and the handle came off. So I know a lot of people would just throw something away, even for 90... I've got a bit of glue stuck on the handle here, just a minute. It's that stringy glue. Now, the glue I use to repair both my items, if I can just reach behind me and get this, is the Bostik, all-purpose Bostik. Now, I've tried super glue before, but in all honesty, I've never been very successful with that stuff. Now, Suko, our friend in New York, sent me a lovely little thing that you saw a couple of weeks ago. Just a minute, it's on the wall behind me here. Suko made this little thing, which is like a picture frame with a bit of glass in the front of it. And then behind that, there's a picture of myself in the middle, looking rather sexy. Dare I say the word slutty? Is it okay to use that word, slutty? That's all right, isn't it? Looking rather slutty. sitting in the middle of a settee with Suko on the right and Her Royal Highness the Queen on the left, and we are sitting there, and in front of the picture is a little table with a teapot and a little milk holder and a little cup next to it, and she glued all those on with super glue. Let me just put this back on the wall before I forget it. Oh, hang on, the nail's gone in the wall now. I shall never get that back on. No, 1 minute. No, I'll have to put... Oh, hang on. Did it go on then or not? No. I'll leave that till later. I'll put that back on there later in case it falls off the wall. Suko did use super glue on there. By the time it arrived here, everything had fallen off. So I glued it back again with my Yoo-Hoo super glue. You see, but it takes a while to stick, doesn't it? Not Yoo-Hoo, the Bostik. What did I say it was called? The Bostik all-purpose glue. It does take a while to set, unlike super glue, which is instant. But I've quite often found super glue okay for certain things, but other things it's just completely useless, completely and totally useless. Very good at sticking your fingers together. Or, as Suko said in one of her recent emails, your eyelids. Although, quite honestly, I don't know why anyone would want to go and stick their eyelids down and start walking around with those closed. What's the point of that, Suko? So I thought, well, Suko's tried the super glue. That hasn't worked on there. So I rarely use it. So I've got this Bostik stuff. And it's... Look. The handle is not moving, so that's obviously worked. What I did is I put a little bit of glue where the metal bit of the side of the cheese grater goes into the handle, and that has worked a treat on that. Okay, so I'm quite pleased with that. So I've saved myself 99 pence by not having to purchase a new cheese grater. It's not being tight at all. No, it's not. Not being tight at all. I was telling my sister about this. She says, why don't you just go and buy a new one? I said, because that's a waste, Sharon. My sister's name's Sharon, incidentally. I said, that's a waste. Isn't it? If you can repair something, you should repair it. That is not the only thing I repaired this week. That is the small thing. Guess what else I repaired? Now, let me go and get it. You'll love this. Right, 1 second now. See if you can guess. Listen. Yes, it's my Hoover. Now let me move my chair out of the way here. Just a minute now. My Hoover was broken, dears. 1 minute. Let me get the wire. A little bit of a Hoover while I'm in here. And I'm quite pleased, really. Right, quite pleased, because with the Hoover the other day, I can't lie to you, on a rare occasion, I actually got the Hoover out and I thought, well, do some hoovering today. Now, and I was just hoovering around, and suddenly I thought, oh, that handle feels a bit funny. And the next thing I know, the whole thing had sheared off in half. So I thought, oh, my God, am I going to have to buy a new Hoover? I mean, I've only had this one 8 years. I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to lie to you. This is a Hoover that I actually bought for Mum, OK, about 8 years ago. And I don't think she ever used it, because when Mum, you know, Mum died in 2000, and then you go up to your parents' house and you take things, don't you? Because obviously, otherwise everything's going to be chucked away. And I selected the Hoover, the same Hoover that I bought her, which is actually it's not called a Hoover, is it? I'm sorry. I'm doing advertising now. I'm sorry. What is it? A vacuum cleaner. Is that correct? A vacuum. I like that word. Don't you like that word? Vacuum. Shall we say it together? 1, 2, 3. Vacuum. Blah, blah. We love it. We love it! Vacuum. Vacuum cleaner. OK? Now, this particular vacuum cleaner I have is a Dyson. Oh, just lifted it up. My Dyson, which I love very much. Look at this. Yes. Top of the range. Well, it was top of the range. And it is only 8 years old. I mean, surely Hoovers last longer than 8 years old, dear. I don't know what my sister does with hers. Do you know, she's got through 3 Dysons in the space of a few years. I don't know why, because quite honestly... I mean, don't tell anyone, just so there's no one listening. Quite honestly, I mean, I don't think that the carpet there's had seen a Hoover in years. Oh, you wouldn't believe it. Oh, the place, dear, it's awful, love. Do you know, I was talking to her the other day. This is my sister. I was talking to her the other day, and you know my niece and her boyfriend, they've now moved into their new house. At last. Yes! Oh, she is, I think she's happy, Tracy. Her and her boyfriend, they've been together quite a few years now. They've bought a house together up north, and they moved in last week. And I think a couple of days ago, do you know, I just grabbed my weight. I think I've got a bit of a waist problem again now. The old weight's creeping up again. You can't win. You see, you go past a certain age, you just can't keep it off. Doesn't matter how much jogging, swimming. I jog at least 3 times a week. I swim 4 or 5 times a week. I can't keep it off, dear. Mind you, there is an awful lot of input, you see. That's the trouble. Let me have a cough. Yeah, you didn't hear that, did you? Anyway, yes, so my niece, they've moved into their new house, and the carpet was being laid. And I don't know what happened, but the man arrived with the carpet, and he's bringing it in from outside. And apparently, my sister said my niece's face nearly hit the floor. She said, Mum, I don't think I ordered that colour. And, of course, the reason was the carpet was coming from outside to inside, so it looked a completely different colour. And my niece was horrified, dear. I tell you what, I hope she doesn't watch it. You've got to be so careful what you say. You never know who's watching, dear. You never know. But I do hope their new house is going to be a lot tidier than her bedroom. You know, you just imagine little girls to have really smart, neat bedrooms, don't you? Not my niece. You've never seen such a tip in all your life as my niece's bedroom. It's unbelievable. I would go in there on the times I was up there, usually to wake her, to say good morning or something like that, usually at Christmas time, and you'd go in there and she'd be in the bed, like on a diagonal, surrounded by makeup and bits of paper and mirrors, and you'd never seen anything like it. And God help her if her house ends up like that. I hope it doesn't. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not dirty, it's just the biggest mess and tip that you've ever seen, her bedroom. So I'm hoping that her new house doesn't end up like that as well. Anyway, so she's got all her new carpet. And I said, what has she got different colours? And Sharon said to me, my sister, she said to me, no, well, she's got the same carpet throughout. I said, oh, that's nice. I said some houses have got, you know, they do that, the same sort of carpet all the way throughout. And Sharon says, well, I have. I said, have you? She said, you know I have. And then I upset her. I said, well, you know, you can't see the colour of your carpet. She says, what? That's my sister. What'd you say? She said, I says, well, you can't see the colour of your carpet. I said, has it ever been hoovered? She said, shut your face. That's how my sister speaks. Shut your face, she says. Oh, we do like to have a laugh. Anyway, back to the repaired Hoover. And what I've done with the same... I mean, I could work on Blue Peter, couldn't I? Blue Peter is a children's programme here in the UK. And they always... Well, they used to show you how to make things. I mean, half the presenters on there now seem to end up in prison. Or well, they don't end up in prison. But they do seem to end up... with a couple of the presenters on Blue Peter end up... I think one of them, was it Richard Bacon? And he was done for smoking some dodgy stuff or something like that. And there was another one who did something. I can't remember. I mean, it was never like this when I was a child, dear. John Noakes, Peter Purvis and Valerie Singleton never got up to any badness at all, dears. Bring them back, that's what I say. Pay them what they want. Get them back on these children's TV channels. I mean, when it was children's television, when I was a child, they were like... The presenters of children's television, they were like aunties and uncles, weren't they? Don't you think? And now, they're all these, like... 20-somethings who are running around, and it's just dreadful. Just dreadful, dear. As a not, you know, like just bouncing and happy and spiky blonde hair. What's all that about? Children's presenters need to be aunties and uncles. Put someone older in front of the kids so that you can learn from them, dear. Not people who are like 5 or 6 years younger than or older than them. It's awful. It's awful. Back to the Hoover, then. I was going to... Oh, that would link in, actually, very nicely to another story here. Here it is. The United Nations, and I totally agree with this. I totally agree with this. By the way, I say link in. Now, I'm not joining the two up here with children's presenters and this news story that I got. I've kept this from the Times about a week ago. And it's saying, UN condemns Britain's celebrity cocaine culture. And they say the price of cocaine has fallen to a record low. And basically, what it says here is police say privately that cocaine is becoming as acceptable in middle-class Britain as cannabis was a generation ago. I mean, if only these people knew what damage this stuff does. Well, I think they do. They know what damage it does. How many careers have you and I seen ruined by this blooming stuff that permeates throughout the world now, eh? I've seen it myself. Time and time again. People who haven't got a clue what they're doing because they're on this stuff. No celebrity names mentioned. I know a few. I've seen it time and time again. In fact, the strange thing is, as a DJ, or and singers and that, well, it's almost accepted that a lot end up on this stuff. Now, why I haven't, I shall never know. Maybe it's the way you're brought up. I mean, I didn't even become a drinker or anything like that. I think it might be the way that you're brought up. But what the UN is doing here is, you know, when you see these celebrities and that, and they get caught with this stuff or doing this stuff in public, and they just get a rap on the hand. What sort of message is that sending out to young people? That's the question. Shouldn't we get some of these celebrities who are on this stuff and lock them up for a while? That'll send the right message, won't it? What do you think? Do let us know on the email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. We see this, I will mention one name actually, this Pete Doherty, who's being caught time and time again for doing this stuff. And what do? They rap him on the hands. Naughty, naughty boy, don't do it again. It's not working. And these people like Pete Doherty and all that, they are like raised up by these kids as like gods. And then what do people do to actually say, well, he's not a god, he's a naughty boy and he's killing himself because of this? But they don't do that, do they? Your thoughts on that subject? The email address is always chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. But it does seem ridiculous. It says here, the UN Drug Control Agency's annual report published today puts the blame at the door of celebrity culture and accuses the police of turning a blind eye to the rich and famous who misuse the drug. Would you agree with that sentence? I would. They turn a blind eye because they are celebrities. And it's wrong. It's wrong because you're sending out the wrong message to children and younger people. They look at these celebrities and they are like their gods. Don't bring the whole religion thing is another subject altogether. But these kids look at these celebrities like gods. They go and shove half a ton of stuff up their noses. And then you see them on the telly, and they fall out of clubs like that, and that's a great thing. That's a great thing to them. No one then says, right, well, we shouldn't have done that. Let's lock him up in prison for 6 months. I don't know what your thoughts are on that. Be very interesting. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Now, that links quite nicely in with what we were saying there. Oh, what are we doing for time? Okay, we've got some emails to do. Meanwhile, the repaired Hoover. Look at this. My Dyson. Oh, hang on, it won't come up. It's stuck now. Pull that up, that's it. And what I've done is glued the handle back together and put some tape, some of my black gaffer tape round it, which I use for, well, you used to use it for usually taping thick electrical cables to the floor when I'm doing shows and things like that for people. I always carry a piece of I've got it over here, hang on a minute. Got the black gaffer tape here, nice big black roll of black gaffer tape. Actually, you never need to buy this stuff. I can't lie to you. You usually find a roll laying around in a club somewhere. And what I did was glued the handle back together again with my Bostik all-purpose glue, and I've put some tape around it as well. And that was 2 days ago. Can you see where I've taped that up? Now, once again, I mentioned this to my sister, and she was horrified. Horrified, and says, "Why don't you buy a new one? You can't take it with you." And I thought, well, where do I want to take it to? Holiday? Why would you want to take a Hoover on a holiday? I said to her. She said, no. She said, when you die, you won't be able to take it with you. And then I said to her, well, why do I want to take a Hoover to heaven? It's a clean place, I've heard, dear. Right, hang on. So that should all be done now. Now, do you think, boys and girls, should I remove the black tape? Or, in fact, shall I put another piece around it to assist the glue? Because it has been 48 hours now, so that's got to have stuck now. Do you know, I'm tempted, actually. What I'm going to do is put some more tape around it. You don't mind if I do this while I'm talking to you, do you? Put another bit around it there. It's a nice Dyson I've got. It's a lovely colour. It's mauve and yellow, my Dyson. And it's about, as I say, it's about 8 years old. God knows how my sister keeps breaking them. So she hasn't got a Dyson now, I don't think. So another bit of tape there. Actually, I don't think... Did I do that right there? That's it. And another bit of tape at the top, and then that will be it. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll go right the way down and around with this. I should have done a here's one I made earlier, just like going back to Blue Peter again, aren't we? Here's one I made earlier, but no, we'll do it all live here. What radio show can you listen to that actually fixes the Hoover while the programme's in progress? I mean, I know we had Stacey, young Gary's girlfriend. She's lovely, she is. Oh, was that a knock? Was that a knock on the door? Just a minute. What was that noise? Oh, it might have been the cat trying to get in. No, that's the cat that Matthew wants to kill. You're not having my cat, dear. I think he's just jealous because cats don't want to live with him, that Matthew one. Is that right? Where are you, Matthew, by the way? You didn't say in your Facebook message. Are you a Londoner? There we are. So that's done that. No, I don't think that looks too bad. I'll put a bit more tape on the top. Because what we've got a bit of sticky there on the top, and we don't want that while we're hoovering to do sticky. Now, I reckon that's it. Hoover fixed. Ha ha! See? Another £200 saved, dear. Why spend money when you don't have to? There we go. And that's it now. What do we reckon? Because 2 days ago, this snapped in half. Look at that. Solid as a rock. I'm very happy with that. I'm very, very happy. And now we're going to test it. Test the Hoover, dear. 1 minute. That's it. Put that down. There we are. Look at that. Lovely. Lovely. Yes. Yes. Right, hang on a minute. Oh. Yeah. It's working fine, dear. Working fine. Alright, there we are. See? All sorted. Don't spend money if you don't have to. So quite pleased. We are quite pleased about that. All repaired and working. And if it does break again, I shall order a part. Oh, can you hear the phone going? That'll have to wait. Yes, if it does break again, I will order a part. No need to buy a new one. I will order a part. So that's it. Right, let's do some emails then. First of all, hello to Wayne Anonymous, who has now, on 2 occasions, attempted to send me an attachment through the email. For some reason, it's not working, which is... it's strange that, Wayne, your emails usually work. It says, hello, Chris, my oldest son is a long-time resident of New Zealand, sent me some jokes. Feel free to throw your head back. Speaking of laughs, Suko finally finished painting her daughter's bedroom. The bedroom turned out fine, but Suko is covered in paint. Is that right, Suko? Oh, no, Suko, we don't do painting, dear. You know that. I hate it. She won't send me any pictures of her new look. What a pair of cheeks. and then I emailed Wayne back saying, well, you know, you didn't send the jokes have covered as an attachment, but I can't open them. So it's written again now. Hello, Chris. The jokes are in the body of this email. Scroll way down and you will find them. But they're not. They are not on the email. I'm in the doghouse with Suko because of my latest forum posting. Suko is afraid that you might end up sitting on the cat. There's a lot of mentions of cats today, isn't there? I think she is to get even with me in advance, just in case I win a bet over your close encounters. Bye for now from Wayne. Now, I'm not quite sure what Suko's talking about, Wayne, with his close encounters. So, where are we now? Just a minute. That's it. And Wayne writes, as an effort to liven up his video presentation, I suggest that Chris Reardon gives a pill to a cat that I have selected after an extensive cast call. Now, if you're wondering why we're talking about pills and cats here, if you're a new listener or viewer, you won't know. One of my cats wasn't too well a little while ago. She had a... Well, she done it herself, silly cow. She kept pulling out her fur from her chest for some reason, and then she started scratching it. It became all infected, so I had to go to the vets and get some antibiotics. And every day, twice a day, I had to open her mouth with my fingers like that, and you get a feel, and you put it on the back of her tongue, and she swallows it. And she was no problem at all. She was no problem at all with this. So I did that. Anyway, Anonymous has gone on YouTube and found some videos of demon cats. Some of these cats are really scary. And there was one bit where this reporter has got a cat on a lead. And he's trying to do an interview. not with the cat, just talking about the cat and various things. And this cat is going mad. It really did not want to be with this bloke, and it was going round and round and round. And in the end, it just grabbed onto his leg, and I think it bit. It bit either his leg or the top of his leg. Oh, it did not look painful. So thanks for that, Anonymous. Love it. Hello to David. It's our friend David. Hello, David, in Canada, who says, how's it going? All very well, thank you. Very well. So I was thoroughly impressed, he says, when you pronounced my last name properly on your last show. I can't understand how people cannot pronounce it correctly, but they still manage to. There is, in fact, a movie produced in Bollywood that is titled identical to my last name. The only difference is the way they are pronounced. Or Baron. How else would you say Baron? Speaking of movies, I did manage to see that movie Cloverfield as well. Do you remember I was talking about the film Cloverfield? I went to see, must be about a month ago now, and I hated it. Oh, I really hated it. The whole movie. I'm going to be repeating myself here, I know. The whole movie... can I give out the email address again? Chris@UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk, right? Chris@UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk. Now, the whole movie was filmed as if on a video camera, like a home video camera. And it's shaky and just very, very tiring to watch. I mean, it really was. I hated it. He says, needless to say, I agree on your personal observations of the flick. It was a pretty bad show. I enjoyed the concept of it due to its twist on that brand of film. However, the storyline was absolutely ridiculous and over-exaggerated, not to mention irritating. I'm so glad that I found someone to agree on this, Dave, because a lot of people really enjoyed that film. People I spoke to, they did say how much they enjoyed that film. So, I mean, I think I've got a feeling, David, we're in the minority, but there you are. Being that I heard the film was similar to the Blair Witch Project. I never went into that film with... I never went into the film with very high expectations, and ultimately, even my low expectations couldn't even convince me that the show was decent. Oh, are you talking about Cloverfield here? Is it Cloverfield, or the Blair Witch Project? Which one are you talking about there? I'm not quite sure. Being that I heard that this film... Oh, yeah, I think... No, you're talking of Cloverfield, aren't you? Yeah. Being that I heard that this film was similar to the Blair Witch Project, I never went into the film with very high expectations, and ultimately, even my low expectations couldn't even convince me that the show was decent. Okay, fair enough. I have to admit, I'm very happy that I saw that movie in the cheap theatres. If I paid full price to view that film, I would be extremely irritated. Yes, so would I. Well, I mean, I did pay full price, £7, nearly £7 to go and see that. I was dreadfully disappointed. I think they should have a thing in cinemas, like, isn't it in restaurants that if you didn't like the food, you don't have to pay? Is that right? They should do the same thing in the cinema, really. I think, if you really don't like the film, then you go and tell them. I mean, some people would say, oh, no, you do it all the time. No, they'd remember you if you kept going to complain about every single film you went to see. But it was just awful. That Cloverfield was very hard to watch. That's what I thought. Dave says, also, before I end this email, regarding your fan base purchasing a city in Australia, yes, Reardon Town, I would recommend... excuse me. I would recommend that your... What's it now? Where is it? I would recommend that you're separate from the country. That you separate from the country. Claim it as its own country, then produce its own currency. Now, this is a good idea. With that said, I would gladly take up the position of manufacturing the currency. Yes, that's a good idea. We need our own currency. Now, what could they be? They could be Reardons. Couldn't you have dollars? You have sterling, you have euros. We need Reardons. Yes, I like it. With my experience as a graphic designer, as well as my pressman experiencing along with my metalwork skills, I would be well suited for the job. However, with your blessing, I would pay myself by taking a small percentage, oh yeah, of the amount of the money I printed daily. Oh yes. In fact, imagine, if you will, the first currency printed for your own country with your picture on the bills and your cats on the first coins. Yes, what a good idea. Yes. We're going to have pictures of my cats on the coins. I like it. I like it. You would be even more world famous as the money circulated around the world, thus making you an even more legendary figure than you already are. Are you having a laugh here? You've been watching the wrong programmes, dear. Sorry, my imagination got away from me for a moment. Anyway, got to run. Look forward to your next show from Dave. I quite like that, Dave. Pictures. Well, why not just pictures of me? Well, we have to have different denominations of currencies, don't you? So we could have pictures of. I know what we could do. We could run a competition, listener of the week or something like that, and then for that week we'd have people printed on the coins. I mean, I think, you know, probably because I live most of my life in the gutter, I'm going to have to be on the lowest denomination coins and other people on the highest denomination. Can you hear that phone ringing again? I shall just leave it. You see, notice how I now leave that downstairs rather than bring it up here, because we're constantly being interrupted, aren't we? Constantly being interrupted. Anyway, it's time for me to go now, boys and girls. Thank you, as always, for joining me to for the show on today's programme. In the next show, I shall be talking about my recent visit to the dentist. Yes, another one. The email address, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I'll see you on the next show. Thanks for watching and listening. Bye-bye.